Always eating healthy, but 10 reasons why you feel hungry even after eating. So you're eating healthily, you're doing all the right things, the smoothies, the salads, the low-fat yogurts, the avocado toast, the skinless chicken breast and the white rice. You should be feeling amazing, but you're still hungry and frustrated and maybe wondering, is my stomach broken? Mic drop moment. No, your stomach's not broken. The system you've been told to follow kind of is. Welcome to my channel. My name's Voysey and I'm a health coach, and I'm on a mission to give you the tools and empower you with the knowledge that you need to fix everything, whether that's weight loss or reversing chronic conditions like joint pain or awful gut health, awful gut bloating, skin problems, autoimmune conditions, terrible menopause symptoms. Just a few off the top of my head. I reversed all the symptoms that I had that were bothering me in my early 50s, including losing 20 pounds, which to some people may not sound like a lot. To me, it was huge. And just today, at 56, I feel better than I did definitely at 36, but possibly also at 26. Come on. Number one, you're eating for volume rather than for nutrition. So you're picking foods that look big, but they don't fill you up. And I know this because this is how I used to eat. I used to always go for the biggest thing. So it'd be the massive bucket of salad with a big dressing and a small side of protein. Or mountains of popcorn and, I don't know, huge baked potato, which is going to spike your blood sugar, but not keep you filled up for very long, surprisingly. And number two, there's not enough protein to trigger your fullness signals. Protein is the only macronutrient that really shuts down hunger. If there's no protein or there's not enough, the brain keeps screaming like Oliver did in the Dickens novel. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please, sir, may I have some more? Mikey, go and get the ball, quickly. Talk about having a dog and barking yourself. So until you put enough protein in your body, even if you've put loads of other food in there, your body's still going to tell you you're hungry. It's just a physiological fact. There's nothing you can do about it. Number three, you're missing healthy fats. So fat is a slow burning fuel. It's like a slow burning campfire, or when you put a great big oak log on your wood burner on a cold winter's night and it keeps you warm for hours. Fat does that in the body. It keeps us warm, it keeps us fueled and satisfied. And unlike carbs, which burn quickly like paper burns, and then they leave you starving again an hour later, like Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors screaming, "Feed me." Terrible impression. "Feed me, Seymour." Fat is going to give your body steady, calm energy without the constant snack attacks. Now, skipping it is going to leave you constantly topping up with carbs and still never truly feeling satisfied. Just always feeling like you just need to eat something else. You just need to eat a bit more, and that's even when you're stuffed full. So don't skip the fat. Number four, you're grazing all day long. Snacking is going to keep your insulin up, meaning your fat burning correspondingly will be down, because those two things can't be in the same room together. So insulin is like your body's traffic controller. And I've explained insulin before, but I'm going to keep explaining it because the more times you hear it, the more times it's going to sink in and it's going to make complete sense to you. And once you understand the insulin piece of the puzzle, everything else becomes a lot clearer. So when you eat carbs, carbohydrates, or anything that quickly breaks down into sugar, that's what a carbohydrate is, insulin, oh, here comes a car. Move over, Mike's. Stop. So when you eat carbs or anything that quickly breaks down into sugar, insulin rushes out to direct that sugar into your muscles or your liver to be used as fuel. So it turns in the body, it turns into a substance called glycogen. But If those spaces, those parking spaces, are already all full up, maybe you've been topping up the tanks a little too often. You know, you have breakfast and then you felt a bit peckish mid-morning because your bowl of oatmeal with berries on top wasn't all that satisfying. So now you're going to have a banana. Bananas are healthy, right? Oh, now you're hungry again. And so it's not time for lunch, so you can have a couple of Ryvitas and so on and so on. Maybe you've been topping up those tanks a little too often. Insulin has to find somewhere else to stash the extra. It can't just leave it floating around. So it waves that sugar into the nearest fat car park. And guess what? Those car parks are built for expansion. Yep, they can keep getting bigger and bigger, and you can actually keep making more of them. So eat too much sugar too often and the insulin's just going to keep building bigger and bigger car parks. Here's why that matters. When insulin is high, your body cannot burn your stored fat. It's too busy dealing with the food that you've just eaten. And it's only when the insulin comes down between meals that your body can finally unlock and burn its own fat stores for energy. That's why constantly snacking, even on healthy snacks, not bunny ears, but speech marks, keeps you trapped in a cycle of eating, craving, and rarely getting into fat burning. Plus, your hunger hormones, they never get a chance to reset. What do I mean by that? So your body has two major hunger hormones. There's your ghrelin, the I'm hungry hormone, like Audrey 2, feed me, and leptin, the I'm full hormone. So when you're constantly snacking, ghrelin and leptin get really confused. Your body never gets a proper hunger, fullness cycle. Instead, you just feel constantly peckish, even when you're not actually hungry. You just kind of think you're hungry or you're eating because you're a bit bored, but also because the ghrelin and the leptin have got themselves all confused. Giving yourself proper breaks between meals teaches your hormones that when it's time to eat and when it's time to chill. This was really applicable to me. I just used to snack all the time. I was always eating something or drinking something. And I'm going to go on to drinks in a minute. You know, I couldn't go into a coffee shop for a coffee without having to have something with it. You know, just being presented with all those options. You know, when you go into a Costa coffee or a Starbucks and there's just an array of things that just look so delicious. I couldn't ignore those things. I always had to eat something, as I'm sure many of you can resonate with that. Number 5, you're eating too many low nutrient, healthy foods. Smoothie bowls, protein bars, rice cakes. Many are just desserts in gym clothes. Your body craves real nutrition, definitely not just another marketing label. Number 6, you're stuck in blood sugar swings. Even healthy carbs like fruit or oatmeal are going to spike your blood sugar. Then you're going to have the crash which comes afterwards. It usually takes about an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. Your blood sugar drops way below baseline. It's now on the floor. Cue hunger, and then you repeat the cycle. It's not willpower, it's physiology. That's it, we're at the top of this little bit. There's a view for you. Beautiful day today. Lovely and warm. And there's my little town. It's not that little, it's probably the second biggest town in Andorra, I would think. It's called La Massana. Don't ever call it Massana though, because people will say to you, Massana? Wow, I've never heard of that place before. Where could that be? And then you'd have to say, oh no, I meant La Massana. And then they go, oh, La Massana, okay. So number 7, your gut bugs are crying out for better fuel. I'm going to stand on this edge here and try and remember to stand still because I don't want to go down there for sure. That's where I was just now in that field down there. Processed health foods mess with your microbiome. Your microbiome being basically your garden's internal garden. Your microbiome is basically your body's internal garden with trillions and trillions of bacteria, more bacteria than you have actual cells in your body. That's how many trillions there are. They all live mainly in our gut, helping us to digest food, make nutrients, keep our immune system happy. Processed health foods are like pouring weed killer into that garden. It's going to wipe out all the good guys and let the troublemakers run riot. So the good bacteria is going to be depleted by junk food, whereas the bad bacteria, which survives on that stuff, the stuff which wants you to eat that stuff, proliferates massively, and then you get a terrible imbalance. Your gut bacteria actually control your cravings. They control your hunger way more than you can imagine. It's just, that's crazy, isn't it? Those bacteria that live inside our gut, trillions of them, actually control our thoughts. They actually control our feelings. Your gut bacteria are like tiny little puppet masters. They're sending signals to your brain that cranks up cravings for sugar or junk or real food, depending on who's in charge. You feed the good bugs and the cravings calm down. Feed the bad ones and it's biscuit time at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. And many of us, and this definitely was me a year ago, up until a year ago, and I finally fixed things once and for all. Many of us have this massive imbalance where from years of eating junk food, as well as being, taking medications like antibiotics, they will kill your gut bacteria, but other medications as well. What else? Being exposed to toxins, being exposed to chemicals in the environment, whether that's scented candles and the horrible chemicals that they give off, or those plug-in air fresheners that people like to put in their homes to make the place smell nice. Terrible, terrible things for your body, terrible for your gut bacteria. All the chemicals, all the cleaning products, start thinking about ways you can swap them out and not have them in your homes anymore, because they do affect our health. They affect our gut. They affect our hormone manufacture. You just want to have as light a chemical burden around you as possible, because it's better for your health. So number 8, you're drinking your calories. Whether that's green smoothies, oat milk lattes, health shots, sugar-free sodas, fizzy drinks as we call them in England. Liquid calories don't hit the fullness signals properly, and they spike your insulin really quickly. And liquid calories, like the smoothies, the juices, the lattes, the coffees, they're going to sneak past your body's natural fullness sensors, because there's no chewing and there's no fibre. And there's no real eating involved. So you've literally just opened your mouth, opened your throat, and down it goes. They spike your insulin really quickly, spike your blood sugar, but your brain still thinks you're hungry. So you keep on looking for more food. Oh, sounds like somebody's laid an egg. Number 9. You're eating too fast. It takes about 20 minutes for your brain to register. Oh, there he is. Your brain to register, I'm full. Wolfing down even the healthiest meal, you're going to feel ravenous an hour later. Eat mindfully. Chew. It might seem boring. I don't want to sound like your mum, but chew your food properly. Put down your phone. Stop working. Breathe. Even get some sunlight if possible. Wolfing down even your healthiest meal, like you're in a hot dog eating contest, you are going to be starving an hour later. Absolutely guaranteed. Oh, let's see if I can squeeze out onto this. Plateau here. Bit lower down now. Your body doesn't just care what you eat, oh, there's Mikey, there he is. Hi, Max. Your body doesn't just care what you eat, it cares how you eat it as well. So slow everything down, chew properly. Yes, your teeth have a job, they're not just decorative. Put down your phone, stop working mid-bite, actually breathe between mouthfuls, and give your brain time to register that you've eaten that food, and appreciate it as you eat it. otherwise your brain's just going to be once again shouting at you like the plant in the Little Shop of Horrors. It's just going to be, you know, saying, feed me. Even if you've just polished off a big steak, you're still going to think you're hungry. And bonus points here, if you can get outside while you eat. Natural sunlight helps regulate hunger hormones, and it helps our digestion as well. Except maybe soup. Let's be real, soup outside is a bit of a nightmare, but for all the other foods. So that gives you the excuse, doesn't it, to pack up picnics and take them outside and eat them in the country if you have that opportunity, especially for people in the Northern Hemisphere, because summer is on our doorstep. And somebody told me yesterday that apparently the farmers in the UK are saying that it's going to be a really good summer, and they know. The farmers always seem to know. And finally, number 10, you haven't built your habit stack yet. Feeling full and balanced isn't just about one meal. It's not going to happen just because you've just decided that you're going to be healthy and you're going to do all the things I've said on this list and it's going to happen instantly. It's the accumulation of lots of small habits. Prioritising protein and fat, eating real food, single ingredients, having proper spaces between your meals, good sleep and hydration, and moving your body. One good choice builds momentum for the next good choice. And habit stacking is your cheat code. If you get this right, it's going to make your life really easy. We love working on autopilot. It gives our brains space to do other stuff. It's called, psychologists call it unconscious competence. And it's part of the classic 4 stages of competence model in psychology, which describes how we learn any new skill. First off, we have unconscious incompetence, when you don't know what you don't know. You don't know it, but you have no clue that you don't know it, so that's fine. The second one is, I have to switch arms, that one's getting very achy. The second one is conscious incompetence. So now you know that you're not very good at something, but you're still incompetent. And then we get to the third one, which is conscious competence, CC. You can do it, but you really have to focus. You know, you're not that good at it yet. And then finally you get to stage 4, which is unconscious competence. You can do it automatically without thinking about it. And it's when something becomes second nature, like driving a car. When you learn to drive, you're absolutely hopeless at it. When you're having your first lessons, you feel so awkward. Everything you have to think about, you know, how are you ever going to coordinate changing the gears and looking in the mirror to look behind you and not looking at your phone and all the, you know, I'm just trying to think of all the things that we do when we drive that obviously I have unconscious competence for, because I've been doing it since I was 17. It's like that. So you haven't built that habit stack yet, because you haven't yet got to that state of unconscious competence. So the fourth one, unconscious competence, is the one that we're aiming for, so that our brains have space to do other stuff and we can do things literally on autopilot. And then those habits that seem today and now, when I'm talking about them and you haven't started stacking any of them up yet, it seems like, oh, I've got to do all of that and that and that and that. But you just build them one step at a time. One step. Take the first step today, the second step tomorrow, and so on. So believe me, I learned all of this the hard way. I once thought that low-fat yogurt and gluten-free bagels would save me. They didn't. I once thought smoothie bowls would make me glow, and instead they just made me gassy. It wasn't until I stopped chasing healthy-looking food and started chasing real nourishment that everything changed. I spent years diving down all the rabbit holes and discovering this stuff so that you don't have to. So you're not crazy, you're not broken, you're not greedy or lazy or useless or any of the other awful slurs that we directed ourselves. And I know, because I used to do it. I used to look in the mirror and be disgusted with my body for not being the way I thought it should be. And I used to tell myself, and you tell yourself those things and you tell them and you tell them, and they go into your subconscious, and then they start to define you. And you need to flip the script and take things the other way, because you're just living in a world that forgot that food is about fuel, not followers, not Instagramming your lunch and showing the rest of the world how amazing it looks, but actually thinking about what's on your plate and eating mindfully. And once you shift what's on your plate and put the right things on that plate instead of the healthy things that you think you should be eating that actually don't satisfy us and don't turn off those hunger signals, hunger stops being your enemy and it starts instead to be your guide. So if this video helped you, please like and subscribe and drop me a comment. I love to hear from you, and I'll answer as many of the comments as I have time for. And I really appreciate all the support from everybody, and I just love hearing from you. It just absolutely makes my day. So thank you so much if you've watched my videos and commented before. And tell me, did any of these reasons that I've given you today, did any of this resonate with you? And if you'd like even deeper tips and exclusive recipes and behind the scenes health insights that I don't share anywhere else, you can join my email community. There's a link in the description below. I just send out a weekly newsletter. I promise I won't spam you with loads and loads of junk. If you enjoyed this video, you might like to watch one of these two next. Until next time, cheerio for now. Nourish, don't punish, take care, and thank you so much for watching.